way out from the pens here in Lula, making their way out onto this rolling course here today. And what is a relatively flat start until you hit the base of the climb at 25k or so into this race route. Although there is the climb segment of the Alpha Hills, there are a series of rollers where momentum is as important as climbing ability.
Yeah, momentum is key, I think, for this race today. And the Category 4 pack, we're with Brian White at the moment, and you can see the rider from the USA on your screen. He's tightly in this small Category 4 group, and I say small Category 4 group, it is indeed small. And, well, that's because so many of the riders at the moment are riding and racing the MyWhoosh Championships. But I'll tell you something, why not jump on the Sunday Race Club too? White is there, Cadiz is there, Piera is there, they're all in the group, and so is Bernardo de Souza.
Well, White, one of our riders who has been riding all of those stages of the MyWhoosh Championships in Category 4. He's been completing the missions as well, the Pursuit of Yellow missions, lots of those in, plenty of Sunday races, and a rider to watch today, I think. Regularly on the podium, he's had 9 podium places so far. He's had 6 wins on the Sunday Race Club. He's a rider you can't discount, particularly when you've got a field like this where you've got some of the riders are tired, you've got a small race field. He's got to be looking forward to this and thinking, okay, I'm on a roll, done my 5 days, what can I do today? Let's maybe, because some riders just go better and better and better and better.
Yeah, makes me indeed. And do you know what? Once you've got the engine rolling, keep it going sometimes.
Interesting. Some riders don't say that. And from Lucas, who competes in he's been competing normally in the Sunday Race Club, but has been competing in the Championships. His comments on the live stream, you can comment on the chat on YouTube if you follow the show on there live. That he's put on there. Much like esports, I thoroughly enjoyed my easy outdoor ride today. Recharged the batteries to full gas again for 2 more days, and then fist bumped.
Yes.
So I've just quite literally in the studio. That's the fist bump back. There you go.
Well, the Category 4 pack rolling here, and you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, all still together. One big group of red jerseys up onto this bridge. One of the small bumps along the way here in Alula. Some beautiful terrain, and actually, you know what? Brian White is pushing on the front here. They're at the 2.2 kilometre marker, and I'm wondering whether he wants a faster ride than the rest of them. He wants to get this pack rolling.
Well, maybe he wants to do a Christoph Lasno. We were speculating as to whether or not Lasno had gone off the front to go and get points. Well, I can confirm that at the first checkpoint in Category 5, Lasno did indeed do that. So White is looking to replicate that. Lasno went through with what was a 10-second gap on Navarro, with Krawanos behind her, then Ola Warren and Daniel Think, the point scorers, 5, 4, 3, 2 out 1 points for Lasno, Navarro, Krawanos, as well as Warren and Think, respectively. That's bunch making the way through. And it's together that bunch, sorry, or is it through?
To me, that bunch is one big long line. I think that's the best way to describe the Category 5 pack as they went through that section.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll keep an eye on them as well as all the rest of the 6 categories here today. Racing, we're on with Category 3, who are waiting patiently in the pens. Anzacs are represented today by Patrick Bloomer, Joshua Power, hoping to bring the power here today for BMC. Cycling District 3 of Wignall, Andrade and Johnson, Tara Esports, Andre Bombacini in for them. Franklin goes down Almeida, riding for the District Lisbon squad, and Sandstorm should be represented by Niall Batt, who put in a phenomenal ride yesterday to take victory on the top of us. Batty going through for the Atlas of riders from Morocco. Good to see Morocco represented on the list of nations from all around the globe here in Category 3.
Well, I reckon there's about 23, 24 riders who are just about to start pen there. Pierre Fell is here, David Deal is here, Costa check. All in the mix. Push is coming in on the front, but no real massive drive from one rider. This is just a good pace out of the pen from the ball. one of the riders on our screen at the moment, one of the young riders, Arthur Colbani, just giving us a wave onto the screen. Part and parcel of the pack here, the rider from Brazil. You know, one of the things I really love in Brazil, really getting behind the Sunday Race Cup. Lots of riders across the men's and the women's race riding and racing and representing Brazil.
And it's not just the Sunday Race Club. There is the Brazilian series on MyWhoosh as well, which is out there. You've got some fantastic racing by them, and I think when you see, it's a bit of a sort of a snowball effect, isn't it? I think it's really interesting to see the more riders that jump on board. It then picks up more riders, who then get more riders, and it just starts, it sets off that avalanche that suddenly becomes engulfing, and it suddenly brings riders in huge volumes and inspires riders. And if you can inspire but if you
feel something and you like it, you stay.
Yeah, you know, it inspires the generation and brings them in to come and ride. Luis Andrade, part of the inspirational squads from Portugal, one of our really key nations, and working by cycling district can't be underestimated.
No, not at all. They've got race teams across all of the categories here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Cup. And riders then able, Ian, if you move up, you can stay on the same team. You know, that is brilliant, because you know what, you don't want to have to start looking for a new team when you've just moved up. So Cycling District, one of those squads who have teams across all of the categories, and if you move up a category or you move down a category, you can still stay racing within the same squad.
Great way to do it, and it also it does make it a little bit easier for us in the commentary box. You have teams across all disciplines. We do try and keep a track of all of the riders. It's a monumental task to keep up with absolutely everybody. Not quite sure what we'll do in terms of keeping up with everybody if we ever reach the 2,000 riders, the target of Matt Smith and the Sydney Race Club. But hey, I know that's the sort of bridge I'd quite like to have to try and find a way to cross. On our bridge at the moment, Nicholas Bournier. Nicholas has been when we talk about riders who've been riding day after day, Nicholas Bournier riding very strong. He's made some great rides, particularly on the early stages of the MyWhoosh Championship. So, and he's looking smooth today. Plenty of bottles for hydration. There's a lot of people talking about how long they were on Mount Fuji yesterday. Some riders out of racing, like Category 6 riders commenting on the live chat, 3.5 hours for them yesterday on the bike. But they did then say that he did enough training to do 5 big back-to-back days. They might not be Cat 6 and might actually move to Category 5 rather than just jumping on. Pretty much, and that's not paraphrasing what they've put there. They're watching rather than riding. If you are watching and you've been racing the MyWhoosh Championships, thank you very much for racing. We are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. The big time trial stage coming up for our riders tomorrow before our finale on the championships. You watch all of the action on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel that brings you the Sunday Race Club. It brings you the MyWhoosh Championships. It also brings you the World Championships as well. One man who has been watching is Pierre Bell. What's your opinion, Pierre? Putting comments on that live chat, keeping an eye on what's going on. Today he's out and racing today, so he's going to let his legs do the talking rather than the fingers on the keyboard on the live chat. So great to see Pierre in action. It's going to be okay, so he put the pace down. He's a rider I think today to watch.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Patrick Karlstrom showing us he's a rider to watch as well today. Absolutely dialing this, the 3.4 kilometre marker. Let's just remember the first sprint checkpoint is a 5.5. This is not a push for the first sprint check. This is actually a push to go away from the group. While Karlstrom pushing strongly, Bloom is there as well. And look at the stretch that's forced on the group, and this has really woken everybody up. Bombacini is there, Mayer is there, Bloom and Fell all wanting to get back to Patrick Karlstrom. They know Karlstrom is a man on a mission, and he's not one to let go down the road. So the drive really early in this Category 3 pack, he's gone, well, you're on the start line of the Sunday Race Club, so am I. We're going to race, and we're going to race hard from the start. If you want to be here, let's go.
Patrick Karlstrom from Finland, one of the real strong riders on MyWhoosh, really moving at the moment. We'll see. He's clear. He's on his own at the moment. He's got a way to go. He's at 4.1 kilometres. He's got to get to 5.5. Category 4B through there. We were speculating whether Brian White would be able to take it all the way in there, and was he going to be going right over the line first? Unfortunately, he wasn't. For him, Francisco Bello, though, profiting from that. He took the 5 points. Giuliano Hack taking 4. Ibero taking 3. Tapiz taking 2. And Gonzalez taking 1. They were the riders who were at the front of the race in Category 4. I think 16 riders in total on that start line. And I think actually they're all pretty much together.
Yeah, well, Bello off the front somewhat, around 9 seconds clear.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, around 9 seconds clear of Hack. Hack then around 9 seconds clear of the rest of the group. And so one rider, followed by one rider, both with around a 10-second gap, and then 14 riders in a group.
And that was, we saw that's what they'll go through solo as well. So clearly setting there's precedence being set here. It's being followed by Carlson here in Category 3. So we see him continue to push at the moment towards that checkpoint. Remember, each checkpoint, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points. They're really, really critical.
They are indeed, and those points will add together in points competitions, in both the sprint competition and the climbing competition, to give the finale every day at the end of the Sunday race done in each of those. So the rider with most points in the sprint competition takes the sprint prize for the day. The rider with the most number of points in the climbing competition takes the prize for the day. But of course, it's not points overall. Overall, it's all about time and who crosses the line first.
Most definitely all about who crosses the line first at that finishing line, and who comes in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th place. Still rewarded by prize money in each of our 6 categories. The prize money equal in the men's races as it is to the women's. And of course, we've got to remember when we get to our finals at the very end of the month, we are going to be in teamless competition with prizes as well. So that's an extra added level of competition that adds into facet to what is the jewel that is Sunday Race Club. Well, that is the end of each and every month team competition coming into play at that point.
Yes.
Nice more Slavic cards.
Oh, that's probably the right ones.
Well, thank you. I'll take that as a win. Okay, category 3 through the checkpoints. The first 5 checkpoints, Carlson indeed holding on to take that by 2.5 seconds from Nicholas 48, and then Pierre Bell. So second and third for the 2 French riders there. Ryan Dumas harnessing the power of the Welsh Dragon to go through in 4th place with 2 points of Patrick Gaffleur. Elby Nanzak's taking 1 point. So Finland to France, Wales and Germany represent the top 5 riders going through in and over the line in category 3, and 20 riders together at that point. If you include the breakaway rider Carlson, who I think right now will be pulled back into 4. Okay, in with Sadi at the moment on the climbers. We go very quickly across to category 2, because category 2 on that Starline Cycling District. Well, you can see those teams in action across those categories because we have Michel Machado, a man who we are looking to go from the gun today, as always, with Daniel Peter. The Cycling District squad. Tatu Koistonen and Ross Fawcett due to be on the start line for the Hitmen. The UAE Falcons represented by Said Hammond and Al-Taraji in here as well. We've got SS Mr. Ace of 100 and Pablo Population down to represent the UAE clan team. But most of those riders have been racing the championships. Let's see who's on our start line here today, who decides that they're going to once more up to the away. The charge has begun. Who is going to bring their step also to victory today? Field of battle, and who will be languishing at the back of the pack. More or less, this is something that is very sore legs.
Well, the category 2 pack rolling and rolling strongly at the moment. Interesting to see the number of riders coming out of the pen. And Al Case is there, Santo is there, Wozniak, Milostick, Alvarado, Kisnowski, Josh is in the mix, Kyle Ward is here, Daniel Hoynes is here, and the pack on the front, you know, they're rolling at around 40 kilometres an hour up on over this first bump, but they're going to drop down the other side. The downtown just stretches his legs a little.
Cameron Bill, one of our regular riders on the Sunday race club. Martin Wozniak in here. Wozniak doing some fine performances that you can see in the pancake there with that green background as well. He's got the sound straight over the handlebars just to make sure the bike stays in one piece.
They raced off last week. Calvin was in second and Ski was in third. It was a springy finish there, just reaching to separate the top three rides.
And Wozniak also raced at MyWhoosh Championships, best position 12th on stage 2. For 11th on stage 2, he also got top 15 on stage 3 as well. So it'll be interesting to see, can he repeat the win when he goes into the Sunday race? We'll have to find some days of racing on the championship. Don't forget the championship available to watch on the YouTube channel. Now let's dive in with Mark Santo, another of our very fast runners, right up at the front here of this group, really pushing on, trying to break the group apart at the moment, Mark Santo. And for me, pushing early, you could put a few people off. You could really just start to make things difficult for people.
Yeah, you can do it, indeed, make things difficult for people. And well, some of them are really liking to respond, others were maybe the feeling in the brain or the feeling in the legs that Santo was the active midfield of the board. The riders pushing on here, but this is like 4 uptime trials in front.
And why not? If you're feeling good, if you've got the legs, if you've got the road warm-up done as well, push off, squeeze on. As we see Niederhauser at the moment just starting to wind this up, looking to pull this group back. He doesn't want to see 4 riders leave the station without him on board. Pito behind and now start to push, so just back coming up to the 9 watts per kilo. I think they can't keep this climb. They're going to bring the rest of the bunch back in. They've got a gap now. So at the moment, Becca Niederhauser leading the group behind Cahill, and the rest of the bunch at 1 second. You can see Jamie Cahill now trying to squeeze across this gap. He wants to come, and this is what I think we're going to see. For the first few bumps, we're going to see a push, we're going to see a break, we're going to see riders desperate to get on onto the group. Cahill now needs to finish this off and get into that drop, and numbers go free to be aided by the fact that Niederhauser just in front, but behind him, the whole of the bunch is coming as well. And the one they've got to be careful is that if they don't leave off too soon, if they go too soon and leave back off too soon, a bunch of snowball over the top, which is being done at least one rider that being dropped.
Well, Sandy Josh is not pushing really steep in front of the pack. He's holding the strong time trial pace around 5.5 horse per kilo. His management of this breakaway here is Cahill. The group is in the mix right now. The winner of the stage want to be.
The gap has got a front here. Like that.
It has taken this leading group, but the gap is not being broken.
Nobody came and they broke it. Bailey's almost just something. They tried and then decided, nah. And then he's not here. Maybe we can try to get back later. We will have to see. And we can go back in that Category 2 race. But all of our races are full of action in all of our race categories. Category 1 being so runners will lead events here today. Davis East was represented by Leonard Schugel. He was going really strongly on that Zurich station. Good day at the office. The MyWhoosh Championships. Alpha Jaw convincing through with Justin and Joe leading the first 3 days of the championships. Vic and Knudsen here today. Osborne for the Boss Boost only as well on our start list. Lauren, who's been climbing great in the championships, is here. We've got Woober, the man who's been holding to Vic and Osborne now. Pennison isn't here for the Mega Boys as well. According to our start list, 26 riders, I think.
18 in the start pen.
So, looks like there are at least 8 of those riders on the entry list decided to go on to take to the start line. Good to see your friend joining us here today, and great to have him with us. Welcome to the Sunday race. I'm pretty sure I've not seen his name down on the start list today.
Sunday race stop, but fabulous to have him in the rider from France and joining at the Sunday race stop, and really good to see him with us.
Now, I think you've already Chris control on the attack.
So Remy, confession. It's a 23-year-old cyclist from France, right?
Yep.
Guess when he achieved the rides for?
FTJ. One.
The Apache Short.
So basically, it's like 5K down the road on studios broadcast. Excellent. Remy, welcome. What's your?
Well, we have Kaminsky on our screens at the moment as well. Great to see Kaminsky in the mix. And he's on there. Kroll is here, Kaminsky is here, Wu is here, Don is here. I'm hoping that Kaminsky's not feeling too bad after the 5 stages he's already raced this week. And he's not obviously feeling bad because he's done it on the front.
Yeah, there you go. How are you feeling? If you're listening, give us a thumbs up. If you're feeling, give us a sort of shaky out. If you're feeling bad, really bad, don't tell us. There's a competition, because guess what, they can see you as well. And there was Jersey on there with the bands on there. Mikhail Kaminsky, a rider who we know is always going to be competitive. And look, his face to me always says, I want to race. He's got the kind of face, I want to race. That's what it says. Don't know what my says to race. But his definitely says, I want to race. Now, the race is all really good here, kicking up here, and riders having to respond to these little bumps and rises, the trigger points that cause in these little bits of movement up and down in category here today. And Joel on the front here in some distance, racing the championships as well. With Ollie Jones, now I've got to say, amazing running by Jones. Took the win on stage 1 of the yellow jersey, took the win on stage 2, extended his lead. Took the win on stage 3, extended his lead. Phenomenal riding by Jones. Stage 4, though, the mountain stage, he couldn't quite stay in the lead. He was about 30 seconds down. He was in 4th place. He finished the stage yesterday as well. And was the length time can he do to bring that back? Ollie Jones phenomenal riding. I've got to say, at those first stages, he just was superb.
Just say, I just noticed on the having taken the start, it's Martin. Welcome back to the Sunday Race Club, sir. Great to have you back on. The retirement didn't seem to last long.
This is making some more complex status, but I wonder.
Well, how's he on our screens at the moment? Well, that's a different shot. There were great trophies on social media in his paper. We had them because normally they get shot over to the bench, while behind him on the wall. Well, he's back. They came up at the moment in the MyWhoosh Championships for the Young Riders jersey in category 1. When showed into the top 10 in fabulous race between those 223 riders, and also they are integrated to the overall in that category 1 race. Well, Christoph Lumen on our screens at the moment, he's with Professor and big too.
Winner, MyWhoosh Championships in 2023, and leader of the championships in 2025. He's definitely got to be watched today. Now, here with Christoph Lewis, it's good to see he's not only smiling, he's also watching the fingers clearly seeing us there. Another rider I've been really impressed by him basically recently, and I think rider him we're going to see a lot more of. I don't think it'll be too long before we see challenges as top 3, but on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And really interesting to see that it's pack are rolling strongly at the 3.6 kilometre mark, and they're up and over 45 kilometres now. The next bump in the road is coming on, and there are a couple of bumps in the road in the early stages of this course. Mikhail Kaminsky, riding the big Jasper Paradians is here. Yunfrek Wu is in the mix one. Yasin is here, Nitsa is here, Dont is here, and this paddock rolling wide across the road at the moment and pushing on strongly.
Now, Michael Vick in the mix, I just where he's at in terms of MyWhoosh Championships. He's riding, he's sprinting to a sprint lead very early in the sprints competitions in the intermediate sprint. We then see him working with the leader of the club's competition to break up the racing. He's had a word with him for a good thing. They have been distanced by Osborne on the Virgin climb. Osborne just dropped and gone, and he really was looking like the stage winner in the Virgin. But you can never discount Mike. He came back over the top to win. Really great riding.
Yeah, great riding, and the riders pushing at 4.5 kilometres long, but they are heading towards the first sprint checkpoint on the day.
First sprint checkpoint. Some news from the race. We have Colin Catherine's over
Just that little
over the race. Peter Jasinski taking 1 way in bit. It's going to be Martin Inglis taking 2 points in 4. Peter taking 3 points. Cam Winfield taking second place in 4. And Dylan Kenner getting his big rep, getting on with it. 5 points taking the sprint win.
Yeah, I can't tell you, in that Category 2 race, also watched the Category 1.5 fault, 2 riders, then a gap 1 rider, then a gap 7 riders, then a gap 9 riders, then a gap. Category 2 is all over the road at the moment at that point. It's going to be interesting to see whether they reform because it's just especially from the whole pace. They run into the first check.
Checkpoint coming up 5.5, just over 200 metres to go. They can see the boundary in front of them. The 3 leaders are out. Pedersen's at 12.5 miles per kilo. Don is coming on to his wheel, but Pedersen only knows what's down. Don goes again. Need to go faster. Factor of timing there. Now he's showing Don as actually getting that first sort of quick reach calculation of the data to make sure it was great. Doing that very much that Pedersen going through, but stop then and Don, and then Pedersen got out, and then you just saw Kroll coming through there. Now for the rest, Hauskirski stretching his legs early on here. Interesting finding a youngster clearly lucky to get a bit of a kick from early through where they squeeze that he's taken with us. Remember that we had 3 sprint checkpoints today, so you can see that the riders coming in and through the 28.9 months. Simon going up the Moses 5-point score, but they be a calculation of that as we go into the action. The racing that unfolding here in front of us. As we get on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel, so Berlin's on fire on the sprint. Sprint and now on to this next one. Let's take a look at the smooth rolling nicely. The first one runs with 6 minutes down to the race of the Brit. And they, as yet, don't make the best of the climb, but they have gone through the Algarve Hills check. As now, on the capital to Category 3. Category 5, the furthest down the road, they are, Category 6 first down the road, Cridland, the sprint leader with Jonathan Cridland, they come with green jersey, sprint leader. Jonathan Cridland on our screens with that Cascade, the rider with the confidence into the sprint of Alpha Cahill's checkpoint 8 of those with their sprinting as well. These 3 riders, 12 second gap, and they're going to hit them on 28.8k. They need to just work together, don't they? The group riders at a distance, I think they're safe. They really just need to keep working together, concrete and sweating.
They do need to keep working together, but take a look at who they are, concrete and sweating. They are 3 riders who can want to truly stay clear of the group and potentially extend their lead on the climb. This is going to be really interesting. At the 25.2 kilometre marker, the 6.2 need to talented out, that's bad. But they are indeed the 3 riders clear. Back in Category 3 with David O'Neill, the rider that has been riding strongly in the MyWhoosh Championships. They've got a puzzle of this group here in Category 3. Johnson, Carlstrom, Johnson, Stevenson, Badil, Kopchikov, Bell in this group. Big group riding well. This is the leading group. And three race.
And youngster Badil working well at the moment. Great to see him in action. We're going to have to see what he does. There is a big push here, and I think he's watching the racing here today. He's shown he's got some speed. He's going across his captain. They've seen the push go. He's got to get across. He's got company David Kowalski on the move here. As well, the Explorer on the wrong side of the ring. I suspect we're going to see big speed, and Carney might have to go to left side. Number one, you're not going to see that happening. Badil picking his way across, and that leaving with dangerous Melvin looming in, and very much the case not being aware, be wiser to the moves, get across the gap, and make sure you get into the place. Badil pulling it from the side gap, though he's still on the outside of the bit here, make sure the overshoot should go out in front of them.
Riders a lot more MyWhoosh beats the great city. The other 23 riders. She started to jump up in later. When Brian Newman on the screen at the moment, the gap shut down the gates. Bell, Duma on our screen. There you go. Welsh Dragon exploring at right at the front of this Category 3 pack. They head on to the bridge move to the Germans here. Getting a loop. Together again. First three on the today.
I think there's a lot of people going, I'm loving the fact it's a change, but we're looking at different things here. What I'm doing it definitely applying it today so much about there's going to be trying to expect to see that we get to the top track. Stevens still the rider asking us if we're going to see him release the finish. I think today it's going to be on the day, not easier than probably cross the so they have an opportunity to have got a different final. I think so that it's actually be a really one day. Start giving it one good because you've got everybody wants up to race. Just it's a small bit of space. So just put out this nice place. The last day. It's the right of the we have that's just nice questions to all over. There's nice ones and things to on the front. Let's do the possible. You can see the front. And just not see the front of but just get to the front of your knees. When there's a small group, you just going to end up in the wind, and that's going to make something. Some of the things you know, you keep this very seat on the race point, this is getting covered, and then just going to the wheels here, into the main, the opportunist of the best front and center first. Time check, sorry, second one, 5 check, slide check, out the the second check, one, the best one. Third checkpoint is going to be the Desert 1, Category 6, Brian now, and we back and forth together. Moving on front here, we stop us looking to break this very point, just using the lift to break the video and they stay the gap, rest, just don't say early, this is smoothing, it's in the zone, just that with us, as you respect a rider here on the and he decided after a number of crashes that he decided on going to come out of that modest and concentrate on gravel and the indoor running.
And that the gravel out the residuals.
Yeah.
Actually gone quite the way through our men and our women's race events. And that is well. Cheers.
Probably think that you you were in some of the Sundays over to when you would be heading to.
So, yeah, there's a relationship there made by riders.
Yeah, made by riders. Like Lewis, who's on our screen now, and he does. There are riders make it the road, but do you know what? I'm going to race the road just so risky. They're not syndromes. Basically, someone not getting to take that fish. So the last thing they're going to go right in some place. It's just what we've done for years. So it's a true thing. Since you mentioned 5 people, that's just the constantly evolving my time. There's so many different species, so many different species that if you went out to right on the turbo running indoors, you might on the motion, you deep drop by you running on the track outdoors and run down a mountain road up to I don't like just different tyres of songs. You can, yes, indeed, and then together the two of us go to this experience moment. That's on the ball. You were being done by the blood of Sergei at the moment. You can see there. With the power down now, he's seeing the moves go. He's trying to listen to time to think. And that's the time to push the 28, 23, and the explosion of 20 meters to go to a shoot point. You've got to squeeze now, you've got to push down, you've really got to move. This is going to be about squeezing it all the way in. I'm going to see Barrett's in front of the runners. They can constantly on space scratching. My goodness, John White is smoking as well. Is there? Just coming so still, so strong, but scratching, sprinting his way around the world. And Jonathan Grinder, he focused here. The hooker not just skid to swimming, and so can see the competition of the Cahill is going to hit this in second place. Interesting, a move there by sprinting lead. In category, certainly to set, but I think so the striking go through the best spot. Yeah, quite honest. Massive market capacity. And one of the great things is that there's a real mix of 60 plus. They're generally going to try. So they've got to go for the one. So you want it to be give it to me. This championship last year. And obviously, we got the first reaction on the elite races and the races. In terms of the rider, that tensions and stuff on with no also, yes, they were just absolutely massive race fields. And because you've got the qualification process as it is, there's a lot of people. Do you know what's a great way to go to a world championship? Because you qualify really clear process. And that's another of those similarities, I think, for me, between gravel and cycling. Now, in the big category, thank you. Way all the way up, like very complicated case, and got well into expanding them up here, probably the leading group at the front of the race. We smoothly and we were expecting a move to the back. That has not happened. Depth in here with Mark Gates with Nicholas Poirier. Now, see moves, they've got a gap 20 seconds to the riders behind. I predicted there'd be when the riders like Edie and do a good work with the deals. This group back, but it's not happening yet, and it's not happening yet on the line. You can see the lead group in the centre of the radar view to the right-hand side of your screen. You can then see that bigger group of riders coming behind, trying just to keep them in check at the moment. As Johnson and Ronda with a 48 in this pack, to see that the back of this group of four. Alpha in high on that probably every Nicholas 48. He's going to be looking good. He took the points on the very first spin check. Next thing up Cahill, and then he's now in the leading group of four on the climb, heading up towards the top of the best main checkpoint gridway to defend that lead that you've got in the standings as you go on to checkpoint number 2.
I think Fournier taking the touch of light. But Johnson and Fournier, they are part and parcel of this group 4 and 2-1 now. 22 seconds clear of the chase group line. Fabulous racing. Dylan Kenneth driving again towards the line. And the 19.1 kilometre mark under pressure on the line. He's driving the front at the moment. And the rider in green skin suit indicates he took points in the earlier sprint competition checkpoint. Really willing to make the action here today in Category 2 by the looks of it.
Yes, Dylan Kenneth knows what he's doing. He's a very experienced rider with a track background, I think, if I remember correctly, am I? Kenneth?
Yes, Clubhouse Games think representing this country.
Beatable weapons.
World titles.
Yeah.
And then Tom White coming back to racing and use exciting esports to come back to racing. That's what he wanted to do.
Well, we're going to go back dive in with Category 4 because we are going up to the Algar Hills checkpoint, and as they go up here, the Hills who's gone clear of the front, so Dodd leading this out. He's going to take away the points here as they go up over the top. Dodd goes Majasic sitting in this group line. Majasic has been riding really well on the championships, and right where we would expect to see him in that complete normal stages. His best results, he got 6th place in stages 2 and flying over the top there. He is second on sprint competition. He's currently leading the climb competition. Riverdale playing up all the racing yesterday. Seen him being aggressive all the way through. They've just got down on the last of the Alpha Hills, dropping down onto the flat lines beyond. And this is often where we see the question that's begin this. He's joking, go.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Kaminsky comes straight to the front of the pack and drives it around 6.3 miles per hour. Another Polish rider going with him as well. So Jas is there, Wu is there, so is there. Sluba's now picks up the pace on the pack behind. Pat rolling strongly Category 1, but unlike some of the other categories, the attacks have been broken with crumbs so much. But now driving at 17.5 kilometres.
But I think just trying to go clear, trying to break free and making that basic hard in Category 1. We're just taking a little bit of a look in now with Hisham Ravi just making his way around the race route here on Category 3 race. He's got to keep, but just be very aware of what's going to be happening around him because it's got Category 2 group likely to come up onto his wheels very, very shortly, and that can give some assistance here. That will help him on his way in through race was in the Category 3, so at least second, especially so very much at the start of his journey in MyWhoosh. Great to have him here on. And I think it's one of those things that you've got to learn how to ride, you've got to learn how to run races. You've got to be able to work out where you want to be able to put your efforts in. You can see just here, here's your RVS here, pushing down behind pedals, kicking out, good power coming out there as well. Wherever those 301 markers goes over the top of it, down into the descent, and about 40 minutes of racing under the wheels there, and 30 minutes for Category 2, set up some 10 minutes behind. behind. Behind our case, the Florida, and we are just in with the Bourbon.
Do you know what? I've been watching the racing this week, and I'll tell you that I have not been on the bike because I have been sat in the studio and which I have. I'm watching the races unfold. One of the things that has been moving me about is racing going to include the winter. I have been inspired to really think strategically about my own racing this year. Inspiring you at the MyWhoosh Championships and Sunday race club inspires you to think about your own racing and your own progression in cyclesport. Then please do jump on board. We would love to see you, not just for the Sunday race club, but the MyWhoosh Championships, many other types of races available on MyWhoosh, from individual time trials to team time trials to elimination races to masters racing. There is racing out there for you. Looks for you. The Premier Elite events, yes, the verification is really strict. Yes, you have to have a type of turbo training. You have to have a second power source. You have to go through verification processes to ensure fair racing. Every single rider does that when it takes place on the Sunday race club. And when MyWhoosh Championships is happening, that's around 500 to 600 riders per week that go through that verification process. Other races on MyWhoosh, you need a heart rate strap, you need your turbo, you don't need a second source, and those verification processes are there. You just need the minimum amount of equipment that is required to race. Jump on board. Yeah, it's great fun. And whether you are used racing or a mature racer, there is something there for you.
I would agree with that. I echo those sentiments entirely. Don't forget the team MyWhoosh, really responsive. The MyWhoosh Indoor Cycling Facebook page, great ripples to stream knowledge, and a great way to get in touch with the team. If you want your questions answered, I am always amazed by just how responsive they are. Their customer services team on MyWhoosh are doing an amazing job of answering questions and queries day, night, whatever hour of the day it is. The same questions been asked many times, just really warm. Now, even with Adrian Alvarado at the moment, Adrian in his paint coat here, nice Pebbles jersey on as well, and good to see that still working hard at the moment. Adrian Alvarado riding the championships, fourth place on the stage, number one in that championships. He had a great start to the MyWhoosh Championships, but he's ridden other stages so far. So today is race day in North racing.
Category 1 on the right hand side of your screen at the 20.7 kilometres to go. Category 2 a little way further down the road at 23.7.
That's a finish out the road we just mentioned. We do have to remember he was the captain rider in this time last year. He's the category 1 rider in the early part this year as well. So it's marching away. So he is a strong rider. So, but those guys to go and see him carried on and doing that extra day on the way through. Category 2 leaders left on second street. Category 1 yet again the other kick. The riders at 21.2k. Another move off the front here. Another lead off the front. Niall Edison very quickly onto the wheels. So is Christoph Cole. Leonard Schugels. It is this time though who's animated the tag. So Schugels being followed by Pedersen, being followed by Kroll. And at the moment, Don is a second. These flurries of attacks, one after the other after the other. And somebody's going to get something to stick. And they're going to break this surely. They're not going to close everything down, or are they?
Question. And trying to today is trying to give some of the phrases. So, the salt's playing to my head. So, the queen to go my way. You see, I want to bring the queen in.
Okay, that's just bad. So, it's tuned.
Well, yeah, so not my strong point. But Schugels Kroll, they're on down the road, and Pedersen and Don now giving chase. Kapinski, well, Kapinski has decided he's going to, and really pushing on the Kapinski 9 miles per kilo, trying gap here to Bruno Domhnall Pedersen, and then Shoots is there as well. This could well be a 5-rider break of the group that we see. Domhnall just dragging off, but Kavinsky comes on. He wants Kavinsky to get on to the great group that Dom does. I think he wants him to help with the work. So 5 riders strong this group now, and they continue to drive. There's one big push from the group, and the group work together to go through them 4 seconds clear of the group. And I tell you, Ricardo Panizza is decidedly right that he wants a little bit of the action, but I don't think he's going to make it. Well, you never know. Panizza might be bringing the entire group back. Dangerous, yes, he is.
Well, I've got to say, I was like the factors. I should say, it's about time to win to get more movie. The guy that got from 2.5 race distance, they are not quite race distance, but they did get it down. And that time a bit of race league. So I might start today, here today, with those other guys, and all of them are the 5 that are any kind of significance at all. We're tricky points that have been in between them, how to shake it a little bit. But I think there's going to be a number of riders now wanting this to wind up. And that's one of the things, when you are finished with your 3 or 5 days, there comes a point where you just need it to get going. And I think that's where we're starting to see category when I am expecting to see people push me on that best time to get to that. It's not that far with category 1. They're about to hit the base of that time. Category 6 though, they're really moving at the moment. Trendland at the moment of the road by 10 seconds as he comes down this descent. So the course profile, if you remember it, we have the plateau after the best climb check, and those 2 lines are going to higher points in fact than the vessel climb table. Let's take a look at that once again. Let's refresh on the results of that on the course. So we're in a Lula, and you can see the vessel climb the second most climb listed out for the red triangle with one another, and that is the climb check to indicate the second of those vessel climbs. But then you drop down, you go through the baseline sprint check indicated by the green and gold. But then you can take further climb up. Let's drop them down again. There's your time to the plateau with one big descent. So if you think you're at the top of the vessel climb, you're not in there. So they're nice on that plateau. That you've got the 6 days still to go. Then drop down and put across from all the descents, a sharp edge on that side. To the base where you go last side, these sprint check, then on climb by day. So plenty of climbing across the top, and this is going to be a decisive course. If you break away for less climbing, you've got to make a decision. The point for the sensation of the sprint, you push up to 10 sprint and checkpoint, and if you do, or you make a big the big, you get a TPF out, now moving on to the climb here. So he's not the best drop down, plonk, and drop in a chip. He wants to keep those chips. So this penalty, he's 10 off now, he's long, it's that. So sticking. We want to sticking this.
Yeah, as well. Quite clear 28 second gap. I'll back to the chase through in the category 3 race. Felt parcel of that bit. So you can see the 2 points that come to take the off that less block. And you can fight 5 pounds go clearing the leading group. Now he's got one time to go between half set, then done at final time of the day. And felt strategically. So make this his attack. The 23 race attack after 23.8 kilometers longer. The chain group of James Johnson and TPA. Sometimes they fell down. And on the left hand side of the screen at the 30 longer. But the 27K marker. The kind of 200 at the top of the line statement yet. And it is a huge pack. Riders together, so the initial gaps that were in planning championship race. But together, well, back together in the pack in category 2. Cahill is here, Andrew is here, Josh, Luca, Dennis, Samsung in the mix. As the riders are beaten, just have to go up again on right hand corner. It's been started to sit. I think Wahoo Kickr, Wahoo Kickr first one, I'm going to take over on X6. X6. Right, because there is section in between this. The final one, this is the stick. On this red line, check push down, having the profit is try and pull pumped off by that out. And the line is so well lashed in the great pedal pushing off there, and with the pushing off. Cahill, that was successful. Rather in there as well, right on the front of the handling, one round the right hand, one up. That is to go to that. You want to just because they have been probably on the same base category. Well, it's riders in that leading group in category 2 as they went through. But this is category 27.5 kilometers on line and moment in moment sugar and then got the effective as into and behind this sugar and it's job here today. I talked to the top best client. Should I say, a category 2?
Yeah, he obviously didn't pay too much on the move, certainly down Jules with gap opening up, not really pushing on here. Jules will need to take away on the Sunday race. I think this is the sort of move that could well stick down, that he can keep this going. That's going to be really decided. It's 300 metres separating him from the riders behind. Jules has got third places, he's taken 6 places. He's running 22 Sunday race, but first missing on that Polaris. He win on the Sunday race. It's the day that letting Jules takes away that move behind him. Like Hudson is on the charge now. Hudson, who has been a sturgeon, has been come into this part of the season. Now it's not the main move. He's been working really hard to mount the championships. All that bus moves only squad, but at the moment he's on the chase behind the leader of Jules. That much. That's 21 wins to his name on the Sunday race club. So with Knudsen down in pursuit, the punch behind start to pick up the paces. He's not going to help Leonard Jules. Jules in front here 28.7k on the against 28.8 on the climb of low. And this move by Jules is going to be enough, I think, to take those points. He comes up to the runner, bulking up under his in front. He's going to take away maximum points here as he goes over the top here. So Jules is going to have a total of 6 points. Johnson through it because if he will score more, that's going to put him on 7 points as he goes in and through here. He's currently got the lead in the competition, I think, and that means that he's going to go and clear the best run check with Jules in scoring 5 points, Johnson in 2, scoring 4, Skierski in 3, scoring 3. It is in scoring 2, and the Cleveland in 5th, scoring 1 point. So those are the point scores, and it does mean us currently in the lead of the climb competition. Jules, though, pushing on over the top of the climb. It was by around 26. Martin Martin is an experienced player. The platform businesses here. I mean, we know he's taken with more on the category. He hasn't been done deliveries since January, in fact, this year. It is August.
Yeah, it is good. One of the months. Between January and Christmas.
Yes, we are in the middle of a very busy period. This is peak racing and the improvement in cycling sports, because this is the period that has the qualifiers of the UCI Import Championships in cycling esports. It's the Sunday race up in the MyWhoosh Championships. We run here right into the World Championship finals in November. Then live in Aberdeen, and the race will be focused to the race action in the segments of the typically qualifiers. Thank you very much.
So she's having to those kids because obviously they come up in August, so they are very shortly coming up. The company qualifier on Friday the 22nd. So from here time, you can get in there not 2 hours later. Now, Wednesday the 20th of February. European time here, time women's race. There's a lot to do. You haven't played a single student opportunities. Still, that's everyone available. And yes, it's a time we start to discuss the events. Click on the World Championships and the Tide, etc. To the space. Verification process is and how we can do that.
Well, I don't think we've got to see Francisco Fellow in those qualifications and benefits of the students distance so much. Let's do it. This is now riding qualified great improved this 25th or so. That's the as he makes his way down here, just got to get us over to the side here. The security bring is moving through this still. Gates 38. That way through you can see the weapon gates leading over this time. Johnson is in the also Johnson in the next gate and they are all under the security victory leading them through. They're just going to slide and the road fella in category 4.
Meanwhile, category 2 and category 1, category 2, I'm just looking at the Facebook screen check, but category 2 have just gone through, and I've suddenly something category 1 have just gone through the flower, and then a Jukos going through the base rocks.
Jones. And you can see we have some big men and Juggle. This is the pilot of the Prince of Skierski has finished across within 5 seconds of his surely Juggles, Lexon and Skierski need to come together. together as a trio of riders to stay led the finish behind the Chills. He's not showing himself straight down, and I think it doesn't want to give away any lead. It's his choice at the moment. Wait, the riders can continue to lose time, and then potentially gaining back, keep pushing. I think they're strong enough, they're going to make it. They will. That's the category. The last group of players to leave events today in player number 3, the MyWhoosh Sunday race in August. Qualifier side has been the first players to leave events. The right on the road, now Steele and they even Steele leading the group here have 45 with 1 out the improvement as a line. They are this is to the finishers. The summit finish here today. As they make the money on climb, they are ahead still for category time leaders. Category 5 coming behind the win the first the first 3 second category, and that is Sam He's in the chasing group behind 2 leaders who are just starting to keep the distance there. They make their way last time the leading in category 5 from the answer of your screen. Left hand side, the wheel screen, Lucas and Jonathan Trevor, the Steele with spreading in there, the sprint leader, the sprint leader, we have our climbs leader, we have the category 6 now on that final climb. They are 100 meters clear. The leaders in category 5 who are doing now indeed and they're really this race. Breathless around their daddy's feet, really starting to motor and then motoring their way down to the top 10 on the road. On the right hand side of your screen, it's 5.6k ahead of the category 5 race. So it's great. So they just move 1,000 meters in the taking places in as a final senior sprint competition. Stevens down the climb competition, second surfing and rewarding the losses winners with places in all categories. The riders who take the plus sprint in the climb competition. Also, everybody get to those finals. You have the addition of the team competition at the end of the month. Most leading inside months before then, and this is the championship to finish 2 days to go to the phasing stages. Mountain climbing competition they've done fantastic. We will be moving on to the time trial and then into the sprint stage. We are now into the finale here. The Sunday race, the qualifier race number 3. Jonathan Tridland there kicking down in that ball, skizzing with a lot of the speed of Lucas Bennett comes alongside. And now there's going to be a response from Tridland, isn't there? They closed it down and they should move the top. They have distance to ride it on the back of the group, and it's 3 kids saying that he's expecting an 80 feet distance here. This is telling Tridland depends on the front of the fence racing. 6k, 6.3k. Sanky Castro is in there, but they are clear. Those riders.
Well, 6 riders in the leading group, 30 category 6 in 5.8. That's squeezing just the back with Yates as well. Yet, that's 7 riders now in the leading group in category 6. Well, they're coming up to the 1,000 metre marker, and they're coming up to 1,000 metres to go to finish line today. And 7 riders leading the category 6 runs on the left-hand side of your screen, just behind them around 150 metres. behind them. We're in with the front of the category 5 race, a big size through as well. Back into the category 6, but they're going to be the riders who see that finish line first today. And they're pushing on here, behind Lula. This is 7.8 to 566 metre of elevation Sunday race club ride. Because it is Qualifier race number 3, and Petter, Field, Midland, Lano, Mayo, Scratching, the Gates. 7 riders in this leading group. This Petter now pushing on the front. Responsive coming from Jonathan Fridland and David Lano. Fridland and absolutely not going to let it. We'll go today. What can you say? We can say is that the finish line is coming and it's trending thick and fast. They're around 500 metres out, 500 metres to go here on Sunday race club. It's Quinlan, Petter, Steele, Clear, Lano, Scretting, Yates on the back of the group in 7th place at the moment, but the push is carrying on the front from Jonathan Quinlan. He's very confident. You can see it all up and down the saddle. The left hand side of your screw in front of the line. He's driving towards the finish line. He's going to come up around the bend. The rock. Steele is launching from behind. Alan Steele and digging the headboard for Hero. He should unlaunch the sprint. We're going to see him coming fast and furious on the green. Can Quinlan do it? Can Quinlan stop rooting the pace? But it's from the 9th. What a finish! Alan Steele, category 6, wins the Sunday race up today. The Quinlan comes through in 2nd place. Lucas Petter comes through in 3rd. I think Spritting and get. This, however, is the category 5 race, and they're on the front of the line as well with 200 metres to go. It's Laszlo and Castro. Forte, Tom, in the mix as well. These are 5 riders here. Pushing on with Christoph Laszlo going. Just have Patrick check go over the top and tables the kilo to Tim Cook. Look at Castro, pushed it on there behind winning actually by stating second.
So Patrick wanted the effort in there and taking the campaign is going to be the 9th podium and his 3rd win on the MyWhoosh Sunday race. Alan Steele, well, so his 3rd win is his 1st win on his 3rd time of riding in the Sunday race. Number out sprinting then Jonathan Quinlan at the end. There's a little bit more about at the point moment as they came to the line. So let's just give you a quick refresh on those. Alan Steele taking the lead category 6. Jonathan Quinlan is 2nd place. And then Lucas taking 3rd position. Keep sprinting taking the line. Taking a 5th place in category 5. Patrick also taking the win from Tim Cook. Going through in the 2nd place and going to 4th space at the moment. Castro and then Saki and last I will be going to get that checked and on the thing that costs now as they come to cover there. Each race time 1 hour 17 minutes 37 seconds.
Well, category 3 and category 4 on your screen, 47 kilometre marker. James Harvey is running through to the final 800 metres to finish. At last check, looking at 15 seconds back to group 8. It's now currently 6 seconds. And it's one rider who has got clear since that group of Lucas Piera. It got clear. It is 13 seconds back from Harvey to the chase group behind being led by Dominic Bergin. And then on the left hand side of the screen, 46.6, not that far behind, and the leading in the category 3 race, well, they are leading minutes clear now, is Johnston, Bell, Yang and Gates, and it's going to be a battle to the finish over 1,000 metres today. While James Harvey continues to drive towards the line, he's got around 300 metres to go. Marcus Piera chasing hard behind. side. But the gap now 6 seconds of Harvey and Pierre matching each other's power very, very well. I don't think we're going to see a break here or a change. 1-2.
Sunday night, 1-2 behind Eric Riddle. Golden Boys in the pocket of skins. The coach, the life coach, on the MyWhoosh. I think Talisman, the dance king himself. In the group of that chasing group, in that the third place, the moment looking first, the unstoppable sprints his way towards strike. Here comes the Gandhi, here comes the banner. James Bobby making this.
He is indeed, and he's broken away from the categories. Race now, James Harvey, is also going to take you today on MyWhoosh Sunday. Race up in category 4. Marcus Carrera is going to come to the second place at Harold. He's in third. Two rounds in series. I keep it down.
MyWhoosh Sunday race club the area from Brindle, Olivia, and the right 5 runners in category 4, top 5 runners in category 2. We give you the top. So, PFL Sunday his first win, and I think the difference there, realistically, is not as been racing. Only he has, because it was so strong. Only getting just the other one.
Tell you what's going on in category 2 is that Danish rider Niklas Becker is pushing on and trying and attacking the group. The group is not responding. He's got 8 seconds at the moment at the 43.6 kilometre marker. They've still got some way to go. They're not onto that final climb yet. But Becker really giving himself some sliding room to the group. The run in the group behind you can see, well, they're 100 metres behind him. And steady state. Looks to me like they are preparing swiftly for the climb. Whereas Becca is climbing into it. 52.5 as well. Very, very shortly. And the category 1 pack from the together at the moment to tune back in this. Quite look at it, he is indeed. So kind of back together. I think that should be but you take a look and see 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 13 riders in that group.
I have to say, I think not too
And it is no longer in the group.
Yes, he was attacking as well, and he put in the moves on the front, and then got to be the chase as they came in. So really interesting to see how that they riders who are starting to close ground, start to be this category 1. I think it's just a climb. Everybody's now going to wait. They're just going to see what they can do on that front. Maybe leave it later until we get to the top. That's very compliant riding in there. But the riders who we know can take victory, they'll bring themselves out here. I think it's really interesting.
So 13 riders in the leading group in category 1. Becca is out front in category 2. 12 riders chasing. Well, I say 12 riders chasing this Cameron, which has now got a snatched on the group. And is now starting to do a Becca.
He's doing a Becca. He's doing up the build out don't do it about pulling up with him. You need more Magene. You've just got to go and never look back. I think the thing for his midfield, I think he's just too big enough. Interesting to me, I think I'm running big Kubo. Even Alvarado, the climb leader in the advanced competition, going after Becker. I think it's going to be a straight pursuit, certainly between Alvarado and Becker. Potentially, Alvarado has the power, speed to go clear that punch was high, and then potentially reach all the way to Becker and just go straight across. Yeah, maybe. Speed. Let's stop placing on the bench. Don't get splinters. Okay. Now Alvarado, two riders pushing on here in category 2 with Adrian Alvarado on your screens at the moment. He's up and out suddenly the Baker and driving on the early stages of this climb. This climb, well, it's 2.7 kilometres long. It's got an average gradient of 5% of the steep slopes. It's around 7% at the moment, but rapidly exploding as it tails off. Becker, the rider, 5 seconds clear. Alvarado is doing a strong ride here, closing down Nicholas Becker, and now showing clear and Fantasy behind. That climbing progress that Alvarado showed a great hands ratio he has. The way that he's used it, you've seen him riding in the most 6 out of the way, making sure that he uses that right time as to the climb. He's kicked down hard. He's been all back his conditions the way off the speed. This is the guidance of the really key. It's about kicking up the tip. You need to push, and then you can just see it now run out there, and the stand in first on the left hand side of the screen, and you chip around the pedals. It's got there, caught back, and it's a 12-second gap from you. Great move by Becker, and they got all the aggression and the improvisation by Becker. Early into this climb, I'll make him wait. He's now gone, but he has set himself the mission now of climbing all the way to the end of this race. He's got 1,700 metres to go and 1,700 metres of climbing, and Alvarado now the herd sticks in and the herd seconds down. Gas way down to the finish. Stay clear of the chasing group behind, and the chasing group behind me, I can just keep Alvarado in their sights, enough to potentially sprint finish the liners in there. It's velocity being one of the sprint finish today, Polish up as well, and these riders pushing on, they're going down past Nicholas Becker, and riding well, the tempo, they can't leave, and they're starting to bear. Strangely effects, the riders pushing with Madsen and velocity there as well. Alvarado holding 9 seconds though at the moment. Alvarado, brilliant. I wish to be really he's never had a finish. He thinks you can be wrong to well, and they play well, and well, and see, and if you can behind, they're still there, they are still inside on your screen. You can see our leader in category 2 the opponent's skin to because he has taken fights up each of the fights so far. You know, continue this strong ball, he's capable. Steve Baker, Sagan, Kinski, and that is a real pass through there. Category. They hit the slopes, I guess it'll be clear well. The winners of our race start today. Wait, as your day, we should soon be stage in the two runners from the podium positions in the MyWhoosh Championship. To be honest, I'm with our champion, Jason Yonde and Michael Cahill. They were equals to go there because he mixed in that. I think he's having to resettle this behind nuts and I don't see seconds when it shoots in that big so it's the chest so it's divinity so it shoots this repeated moves pulling costing and now that energy is going to cause once again the focus championships at the moment. I think 10 seconds 1 minute 16 seconds. This is first and third in MyWhoosh Championships during rest day, battling out first and second.
just sat there, and then they put themselves up above the head of the parapet to shut up my go for it. This man, he's done exactly the same, but he's got to keep pushing.
I know that his sprint is now behind an Alejandro Trzynski, first Anderson, and Alexander comes straight over the top, and Alan pushing on Alvarado, now goes into third, he goes into fifth. Alejandro Trzynski, Becca, Santo, they are moving up the sprint, and launching here. Santo is coming strong, and
Feeling kinda tipsy, didn't drink, so I don't get it. I must be high, but I'm just guessing.
This is the on the red sandwich returns to green, like a big influence of outside the street. The sun is straight on right up here.
yeah, she's got to take off my neck. He's food, nothing. What is she looking at? It's back. I think I'll spend it.
Emotional too
So,
soon. You got my invitation, all the rest is up to you. Kick rendezvous, make some time for me and you. Get you over, treat you right. We vibing like kick rendezvous, make some time for me and you. Get together, you and I. We vibing like it's getting kind of personal. I know my inhibitions.
take the movie, sort of just giving the camera away, they just winding himself down. And a massive air thing comes up, taking away the V3 taking away the front wing from the just punch to be replacing the current DX and going great sprints and also taking on the mic on that side of that work that he's been doing in fifth place, replacing in Cahill and then all the races.
Absolutely superb, and the needs a Tudors, Kaminsky and Stinsky round out the top 10 today in category.
So don't forget you can catch all of the race results on MyWhoosh.com. That is slash results. Don't forget you get details on MyWhoosh info page. That's MyWhooshInfo.com as well.
Today has been a day, they say,